Hi y'all, it's me. I thought I'd throw a tutorial at you since I haven't done one in a while, and I wanted to share something I've been playing around with. I originally saw the idea with someone named Gabrielle at Two Peas in a Bucket, and she actually did the same thing, but she used different product than I'm using, and I did a couple other things that she hadn't done, so I'm going to go ahead and share that with you now. I was noticing in a few haul videos, I saw these tiles from Prima, and I'll put a picture up right now so you can see one, or see a few. Anyhow, so that's the tile. Well, anyway, I thought, I'm not going to pay for that, and I could make them myself. So I set out on a quest to find a way to do them, and I came upon at Michael's Model Magic. I think they sell this Target, they sell it at Walmart, they sell it everywhere. It's for children. What I really like about this product as opposed to Fimo, which was the way I initially learned was to do it in Fimo, the Fimo, once it's dry, it's hard as a rock, and you can't even alter them. This was one I did with Fimo. And the other thing is with Fimo, at least the one I have, you have to bake it. And then it's a little bit heavy. So if you put these on your project, if you have like a mini book and you're trying to maybe add several of these throughout your book, it will add weight to your book. This product, however, it's really lightweight. It's really, really lightweight. So I thought I would try this. The other thing is that it's air dry. And once it's dry, it's really flexible. As you can see, this is one that I cut, and it's dry, but it's very flexible and forgiving. So if you stamp something on here, which I'll show you in a minute, you can trim it if you don't quite get it centered or the way you want, which is nice because you can't do that with the Fimo. Okay, so what this is, and like I said, this comes in lots of colors, and you could use a paper clay too, because paper clay is lightweight, but this one I just like because it was simple, and it's really soft to work with. So if you have problems with your hands, this is not a hard clay to play with like Fimo, because Fimo is a hard clay. And basically what I did was I just rolled a ball, and you can do whatever size you want. I didn't even use fancy tools. I had a thing of Prima flowers, and I just kind of use it as my rolling pin. So you don't need fancy tools for this. You can go out and get them if it makes you feel better. But for me, I just rather save money where I can. And then once you get the size you want and the thinness you want, I suggest trying to keep them a little bit thin, which is easy to do because this stuff just really goes down well. I took a playing card, just a regular old playing card, and I used that for my knife. And you just can cut away, you can leave it round if you want to. You can cut away the parts that you don't want. And hope I'm not blocking that from you. And that's not very straight, but I'm not really trying that hard. Anyhow, so you can do that. Now, if you didn't make it straight, you can always just roll it up again and let it go. So the good part of making these also is that you can make a bunch of shapes ahead of time and just keep them in a jar on your desk. And then when you're working on a project, if you want to make one, you can just make one. It's really easy. I did a few things that I'm going to share with you to decorate mine, and I'll share those with you in just one second. I'm going to put this away so it won't dry. There's a ton in here, so I can make like way more than I have already. Just show you. And let's start with this one. This is one that I just stamped on. I didn't do anything special. I just stamped on it with black ink. I use VersaFine, which is a pigment, oil-based pigment ink. I think StazOn would work. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I use this one all the time. And as you can see here, you see I really didn't get it quite centered on there, but I can just go in here and clip it off with my scissors. It cuts so easily, which is really nice. And like I said, they're super, super lightweight. So this one is just a stamped image, nothing else done to it. Now this one is a stamped image, and also went ahead and I used Ranger Distress Ink Vintage Photo, and I just went around the edges. And so I think that's really cute. In fact, that looks like one of the ones that I just showed you a picture of. Then I did another one where this one I had a little issues with. Okay, let me show you this one first. I use a rub-on this one. I just took some rub-ons that I had. I rubbed it on. I suppose I could have painted it first if I wanted to instead of leaving the white background, but for this purpose I just wanted to use a white background. And then I Mod Podged over this one to kind of seal in the rub-on to make sure it wouldn't come off. So, you know, you could embellish these. You can stick these behind a group of flowers. I mean, it's just another texture to add to your work. So I also did a rub-on, which was this one, and I added some glossy accents to it, but I had some issues with this because once the glossy accent starts to dry, at least on this medium, it started lifting the rub-on off. And so it completely came off, and I had to glue it back on there, and then I cracked the glossy accents in the process. So I don't know if that's the best way to go. But I suppose you could take a little punch-out design and glossy accent that, and maybe that would stay. I just know with the rub-on, it made it curl up on this particular medium. But anyhow, that's just another idea for you. So you can use rub-ons on them. And then this one, I took and I added glitter to the edges and a little bling to the center. These would make really pretty page elements. And as I said, they're super lightweight. So you could do something like that. This is another one where I painted the tile first with acrylic paint, and then I stamped a background stamp of the script, and then I stamped on top with a flourish. And I don't know, and then I inked the edges on this one. I think they're really pretty and fun to make, and you can make them coordinate with whatever you have. This is another one I did. I made it in an oval shape, and I stamped the background. I stamped off the stamp first on paper, and then I used it on here because I didn't want the text to be so dark. And then when it was, then I stamped on the crown, and I also added the bling around the edges, and I put a hole in before I made it. And actually I didn't have, hold on, let me grab it really quick if I can. Oh, hang on, it's right here. Here it is. I didn't have anything to make, whoops, sorry, didn't have anything to make the hole with, so I took my pen apart. So you don't need fancy tools, just look around. I took my pen apart like this, and I used the round piece down there to make the hole. And so that's how I did that. And now it can be a charm on a page. It can be dangled from a necklace even if you wanted to. I don't know. But they're really super cute and lightweight. Okay, then I tried something else. I went and got out my embossing folders. Here's a couple just to show if you don't know what they are. And embossing folders have two sides. They have an embossed and a debossed. Debossed is pressed in, embossed is up. I believe that's how it goes. Anyhow, the side that's pushed in other words, what I didn't want to happen was I didn't want the design to sink in. I tried to stamp on this when it was soft, but I didn't like the look. Maybe you will, I don't know, but I didn't care for it when it was pushed in. So you can see if I push this down on this side, the image is raised. If I push it on this side, the image is inset. So you could do whichever one you want. You can have it, oh, I squished it now, but raised or pushed in. So what I did was I cut the shape I wanted, and then I pushed it into the embossing folder. So you can see there I have a raised image. There you go, a raised image. And then what I did was when it was dry, I went back over it with Rub and Buff, and I got this gold look. So sorry, it's not coming in too clear there. But anyway, you could still see there you go. You could see the raised image there. So that's pretty cool too, if you want to do that. So there's just, I mean, it's never ending. You could go on and on with different things you want to try. I'm going to do one with you here. Oh, and you know, one other thing is all these stamps I got, I wondered, why the heck am I buying these inchy stamps? Oh my gosh, these are like perfect. They're the perfect size for these tiles. I mean, that's what this came from. And then the bird one also was an inchy. It was one of these I got from the Studio 112, one of these images here. So these are perfect. If you have these in your stash, you can use them this way. You could also do any actually. If you have the Tim Holtz ticket die, you could use those, whatever. But I'm going to show you how to do one. This one I already painted. It's dry. I painted it with antique white. I'm just going to show you how to do one so that you can at least see me do one. And I'm using a Tim Holtz script stamp. As you can tell, it's been loved. I use this so much that it's crazy. So you just ink up your stamp, and then you go ahead and press it down onto your image. Now this is really soft. Remember what I said, it's forgiving. So when you press down your image, it may stick to the stamp, but that's okay because it'll come right off. So kind of gently just rock your stamp a little bit to make sure that the image is in there, and then lift it off. And there you have the first thing done. So normally what I would do is I would wait for that to dry. So when I give that just a second, I'm going to share another tip with you. I learned this from Yoli Bean. She showed us this at a crop one time. She buys this stuff at the 99-cent store. I get it for 79 cents at mine. Mine comes with a spray bottle. And this is stamp. She used it for stamp cleaner, and it's really good. It's acid-free, which is really good. There's no bleach. It's non-flammable, no ammonia. And she uses it for stamp cleaners, and it really works good. It even takes off alcohol inks and stuff. And so I've been using it on my stamps to clean my stamps, and it does a good job. It's kind of equivalent to, she likened it to the Stays-On stamp cleaner. So you might want to look for that. Okay, now that that one's done, the next thing I'm going to do is put another image on top of that one. So I have one right here. I'm going to go ahead and, whoopsie, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down. Boy, that slipped right out of my hand. Got it all over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on there, and then I'm going to just press it on top of this one. Gently rock it just to make sure that you get the whole image on there. And there you go. I've just created another one that I can add to a page. And now I can give it a few minutes if I want to let it sit and dry. And then I can come in with my Distress inks. Any color you want could work. You just want to go around the edges. This holds, it takes the ink really nicely too, which is nice. So, and as I said, this clay comes in lots of colors. I just choose this one because I figure I can paint it whatever color I want it with acrylic paints. So there you go. That's my little decorated tile. And the good thing is you can make them big, you can make them small, you can make them, even you can use cookie cutters and cut out large ones if that's what you want to do, but it's so much fun. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun sharing this technique with you, and if you have any questions, just leave me a message and I'll get back to you. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.